Hey everybody, welcome to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Claybon here, being carried every week by Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland, who, as indicated by her dress, finally picked the Lions to win, and there they are, the Detroit Lions.
Don't worry. The asterisk is there. I'll be wearing Gordy's thing at the end of the show because last week I didn't, but there has been another game since, so who cares?
Yeah. The problem is the Lions just keep winning since we picked games. They've won twice.
Great.
I can't wait to be at the Super Bowl covering the Lions with you wearing that. Let's go.
I mean, I would wear this to the Super Bowl. This is my favorite sweatshirt.
All right.
This is a great vintage sweatshirt. I love it.
I like the jacket.
Maybe we'll be on our way. Speaking of some standings in the future, let's look at our standings because someone's just a game back right now. Maybe that changed after last night. But anyway, Greg Rosenthal still got the crown, 31-17. How are you feeling right now, Greg?
I'm feeling like I need a new headshot. That was like, one kid ago. But it's appropriately smug for someone
Like you
who's been
had
in first.
another kid.
I don't know when the last time I wasn't in first. Let's go, people.
Okay.
Appropriately smug. I love that. Biggest matchup of the week is the Dolphins and the Bills. These teams met in last year's wild card. Tua Tagovailoa missed the game due to injury. Josh Allen against Skylar Thompson. Thompson threw two pretty huge interceptions in the game. The Fins kept it close, but Buffalo won 34-31. Unfortunately for the Bills, Tua Tagovailoa is back. He's going to be starting over Skylar Thompson. Miami's coming off a 70-point performance, and Jalen Waddle is back. All those, does that move you off the Bills, Greg?
It doesn't. I think this is a different Bills team. The Bills weren't as good, I think, at that point last year as they are right now either. And one of the reasons why is because they're running the ball so well. They are leading the league in two tight end formations. They were last in the league last year, so they're playing heavy. James Cook and Josh Allen have combined to be in the top 5 of 10-plus runs. So rushes that go for over 10 yards. When you look at what the Dolphins defense doesn't do well, it's defending the run. And when I look at these two teams, I think what's the weakest group in this game? I like what the Bills offense is doing. Obviously like what Tua is doing. Like what the Bills defense is doing. Not really having much faith in this Miami defense that's been struggling. I think James Cook has turned into an every down guy. I think the running game lets them slow the pace of the game down, and they win at 31-27.
It's funny that we have the same margin. Also, Jalen Phillips not being on the field is going to be a massive problem for their defense. And I also have a 4-point win. It's weird when we're the same. A little bit lower overall score for me, 28-24. But I still want to talk about Tyreek Hill. Why? Because they're using him in different ways, and it's very, very interesting without Jordan Poyer there, that this defense, which, by the way, they're coming off a game where they have not just like a high pressure rate, but like a historically high, almost 70% of their dropbacks against the Washington defense.
Tua's not holding that ball like Sam Howell, though.
No, Tua gets rid of it really quickly, which is why Tyreek will still have a good game. I think that's going to be okay. Without Jordan, I'm just acknowledging the elephant in the room. No Jordan Poyer, good Tyreek. It's going to be a lot harder, though, to get that pass rush off. That was a historic, almost a 70% pressure rate, and they're over 50% for the year. A little different than what the Broncos brought with 3 pressures against Tua last week.
Yeah, of course, you're not going to score 70 points. I don't necessarily think the Miami Dolphins are going to score 70 points in this one. I do think they outscore the Buffalo Bills, though. We do know this offense can get you buckets. As Greg mentioned, Tua Tagovailoa is not going to hold on to the ball to the extent that Sam Howell did, but he can also hand the ball off to Raheem Mostert, and this has been the biggest shift in this Miami Dolphins offense. They are the #1 rushing team in football against the light box. Jalen Waddle's return is going to space the field even more. Raheem Mostert is out of his mind right now. He's averaging 5.9 yards per carry. If you think that's silly, he's actually averaging 5.4 in his career. There's been injuries and weird situations where they couldn't get him on the field. His head coach realized that. He got him on the team, and I think there's a lot of Mostert in this one. The Miami Dolphins win it 28-27. Let's do some math, Cynthia, because you talked about Tyreek Hill. Is he going to have over 86 receiving yards against Buffalo?
He is. I told you I thought this was going to be a game where a lot of points are scored, not 70 necessarily, but I think Tyreek Hill will be kind of in that low 90 range. When you look at what the Bills do after the catch, it's kind of an area of deficiency, and again, without Jordan Poyer, it's going to be even more of a deficiency, and Jalen Waddle's back on the field, which means there's going to be more space for him, and it's just an area where the Bills have to address it, because they're not going to all of a sudden pull their defense back and then allow Raheem Mostert to run like you talked about. So let's just we'll accept it. Tyreek Hill can have 90 yards, but Doesn't mean the Bills won't win.
As long as it's like not 290
Right.
yards,
We don't
you're
need
doing fine.
290 yards, just 90.
And as long as the angles that they're taking on Tyreek don't look like me in geometry like the Broncos were doing. We'll move on from that game and go to the Dallas Cowboys. A week ago, they went to Arizona as a double-digit favorite. They somehow ended up losing by 12. It's a new week. The Cowboys are playing host to the Patriots on Sunday. The last time these two teams played, it ended in epic fashion in overtime.
Get your arms outside of your defender.
Play fake. Boot to the right. Looking down the field. Lamb. 10, 5. Victory. Cowboys win. The ghosts are exorcised.
A farewell wave from CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys and Patriots squared off. They walked it off in overtime with that 35-yard touchdown. And now these teams are going back at it in Dallas in 2023. Dak against Belichick. Okay. Also a Zeke revenge game. Ooh. Greg, what's going to happen here?
It's also a revenge for me and anyone who thinks the Patriots are a little underrated. 7 points is way too much. It's so much, I'm offended enough to pick the Patriots to win outright. I think Bill Belichick is going to cook up a game plan that scrambles Dak. I was a little concerned watching Dak Prescott on film last week. Dak Prescott, to me, is the ultimate. If you watch him on the film, he's better than he is on the TV copy because he's just such a smart quarterback figuring out what's up. When I watched it last week, very tentative. Like, it was a lot of double clutching throughout the game. He wasn't exactly sure what he was seeing. I think he didn't see open receivers at times. He made curious decisions. It just felt very un-Dak to me, and I think Belichick can look at the game plan that Jonathan Gannon had a week ago. He's very multiple in terms of the safeties, the cornerbacks. They're a little healthier this week, and I think the Patriots' defense, which has been playing well, really stymies Dallas. Pulls off the big upset.
I guess I just thought everyone would pick because when I did my homework, I have an 8-point win for Dallas, 27-19. But I was actually talking about how Dallas could potentially, an area of deficiency could be their run defense, because last week what we saw against James Conner was a ton of yards before contact, like over 4.5, which is kind of not Dallas-like. And that to me was like, oh, maybe going forward in other games, that's going to be the problem. It is a good reason to play Ramondre Stevenson in fantasy, but I don't think that's going to be enough to overcome the Dallas pass game.
Your numbers are disrespectful, 27-19 here.
Yeah, because 8 is just so disrespectful.
It's big.
When you're missing pieces in your secondary.
Okay.
And Dak can throw, and CeeDee Lamb's still in the. CeeDee Lamb's still there?
I just look at last week and think like, well, they shouldn't have been 12-point favorites last week. They shouldn't be 7-point favorites this week. Well, be happy to win.
I think one thing that perhaps odds makers and anyone who evaluates the Dallas Cowboys are considering the fact that they're going to get pressure on the quarterback. Well, Josh Dobbs was spectacular in that game, and the Cowboys did get run all over. Mac Jones is not necessarily the running threat that Josh Dobbs is. And on the basis that the defense lost one of its best players a couple of weeks ago in Trayvon Diggs, but they still are very successful in the middle of the field without blitzing. And the Patriots aren't necessarily one of the best teams going up against the team 24th when the opponent doesn't blitz. Dallas still number 1 without the blitz. Dan Quinn has been in the lab all week after the Cardinals run all over them. You try to free up Micah Parsons on some stunts. The Cardinals ended up running right behind that, right into it so many times. I don't think that those mistakes are duplicated again. Dallas wins this one, to me, 23-19. And Greg now thinks the Patriots
I'm feeling myself when I'm taking a 7-point dog.
He's back. You see the sparkle in his eye. Bill, you got him back. You got him back.
For what week?
Let's look at the lowest over-unders for Week 4 according to FanDuel. Not a lot of points expected between the Bucs and the Saints. A few good defenses on there. And of course, looking at those Jets, trying to keep Kansas City under. Maybe most of those points be for Kansas City. But the folks in the desert also expecting a low-scoring game for the Ravens and the Browns. Deshaun Watson dealing with a shoulder injury. He's questionable. Cynthia, how do you see this one going?
I see this one going in a Cleveland. Now, okay, Deshaun Watson being questionable Today, it's Friday right now. Well, full disclosure. It could change if he's not playing. But right now, I have, with Deshaun Watson factored in, 23-21, a Browns victory because of the Browns defense. This Browns defense, I asked our awesome production team to pull all of the plays in the red zone. And you're probably going to see every single one of them because there just really haven't been any. They've allowed exactly 1 touchdown, 1 in 3 games. The get-off rate for Myles Garrett and company has been just absolutely incredible. And I don't want to face this defense if I am any offense. So especially an offense that is potentially missing some pieces, that's a problem.
This is literally the only trip to the red zone any team had.
You're seeing it.
Because I saw that they were perfect in the red zone. It's like, oh, that's great. Well, they're only 1 for 1 because they don't even allow it to happen. It's outrageous. Yeah. I'm taking the Ravens to win, too. I'm taking them 20-17. I do not expect...
You're taking the Browns with the Ravens.
The Browns to win.
Thank you
for correcting me.
I was
Just
like what?
Well, Dr. Freud.
I know. My heart, I'm always rooting kind of for Lamar Jackson, but I feel like my head is saying that the Browns are a better team right now. Because of the injuries in Baltimore, they're missing 6 or 7 starters out on the injury report. Ronnie Stanley's doubtful. But I did see some growth from the Browns offense. I was curious last week, Deshaun Watson, in the way that they used him, are we seeing the transition to the Deshaun Watson offense versus the Nick Chubb offense? And what I saw was a lot more empty formations. They lead the league in empty formations right now. That's something he did in Houston. More shotgun, less play action, less really building it around the running game. Some design runs. Watson being a little quicker to scramble and avoid sacks. And he wasn't great. He wasn't perfect, but he was better. And I think better will be enough this week.
95 of Amari Cooper's 116 yards were all on passes of at least 10 air yards. So the downfield game was back. But are we going to see DTR?
I would love to see Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I do not think we will.
Well, I would like to see more Baltimore Ravens playing in this game, of course, dealing with injuries yet again. But I am taking the Baltimore Ravens and keeping this streak going of me picking Baltimore 18-17. To get rid of what was just a miserable loss last week to the Colts that saw a litany of mistakes, 2 fumbles, special teams errors, and the opponent actually breaking the all-time record for 50-yard field goals in a single game. Ronnie Stanley's doubtful. How much does it matter the way Myles Garrett is playing right now? There's going to be so much pressure on Lamar, but that's something that they're used to. Hopefully they don't duplicate these mistakes. I think a lot of that revival of Deshaun Watson in the Browns offense might have been more Titans than it was Cleveland, so I'm still going to stick with Baltimore in this one. Coming up, folks, Jalen and the Eagles 3-0, but they have a tough matchup with the Commanders Sunday. Could there be another Commanders over Eagles upset brewing? Our picks coming up next.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Mercedes-Benz and the completely reimagined GLC. The all-time great SUV just got an all-time upgrade.
Snap to Hurts. Washington breaks 3. He steps up, throws underneath. Caught by Watkins, thrown to Smith. He's trying to throw it backwards. He's hit by Cam Curl. That is picked up by Casey Toohill in the end zone. It's a defensive touchdown to end the game. An exclamation point to end an undefeated season of the Eagles.
Do your gritty, Casey Toohill. He's gritty it out of the end zone. I love it. What a way to end this ball game.
It's time for the Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Commanders did end the Eagles' quest for a perfect season last year. Philly was 8-0 when a 4-5 Washington team shocked them on Monday Night Football. Dallas Goedert actually got hurt on a face mask. No call towards the end of the game. The Eagles are sitting at 3-0.
You just can't let that go.
Will the Commanders give them their first L of the season, Cynthia?
My model says no. This is a pretty significant difference between the winner and the loser. I have 30-18 here in favor of the Eagles. Why? Because explosive plays downfield are going to be a big factor in this one. This is the best O-line in football, and the fact that you're now getting A.J. Brown in space, obviously here you're looking at last week's footage, but going forward, you're going to have even more space for him. He's really running like more precise routes even than last season, so perhaps something weirder happened, but no, I don't think so, no.
I think something weird happened here. I've got some lukewarm.
Are you picking?
First of all, I'm not. I thought about it.
Do
I
it.
think 8.5 is way too
Do it if you're the
many.
just Greg leader.
No, I'm just saying.
I want my little tiny crown.
This
I'm
is how
Greg.
She tries to trick me into making bad
Do
picks.
it.
I have Washington
Bad
within
picks.
a point
It's
here.
a 1-point win. Switch it.
23 to 22.
Flip your
And
pick.
look, here's another lukewarm take coming off of what you said. I don't think the Eagles' offensive line is playing as well as they did a year ago, especially protecting the pass. I think that's one of the reasons Jalen Hurts has struggled. And when we look at that matchup from a year ago, I think, look, these are mostly the same players, except Washington is healthier up front right now.
That's a face mask right there.
Chase Young.
I just saw a face.
It's
Wait,
not
is
a
that,
penalty if they don't call it.
That's a penalty.
There's that
They lost
face.
the
Wait,
game
ready?
because of that.
And okay, that was that wasn't the same one.
It was a whole bunch of turnovers. But look, Jonathan Allen's healthy now. Deron Payne's healthy. Chase Young is back. Montez Sweat. And like I said, Jalen Hurts has been uncomfortable in the pocket. If you look at all of the advanced
he was
stats,
sick.
He's been middle of the
sick.
pack. I'm just saying middle of the pack, and this is the best defense they've faced. They've played 3 pretty weak defenses and pass rushes. I just think it's going to be harder, and the Commanders are coming off a loss. I think it's going to be hard. That's all.
Loss, they got pressured like 70% of the time.
Okay.
There's more pressure coming for Greg to flip his pick throughout this.
It's definitely
throughout the
not
rest
happening.
of the show.
I know how
he
to
says
play
it's not
this
going to
game.
happen. I've got the Birds as well. You can go ahead and meme away, folks. I think it's a better game for Sam Howell than last week. That would be an understatement. But Philly is rounding into shape because Greg is right. Jalen Hurts has been uncomfortable in the pocket, but look at what happened last week. Look at the time that Jalen Hurts had to find. I believe this was a touchdown to
Zacchaeus.
Yes, it's Olamide Zacchaeus there earlier in the season. Maybe a little more heat on Jalen Hurts. He still found Devontae Smith on this bomb, but there's been so much time, and I think it's a strength-on-strength thing because Washington does have a good front, but considering the way that things have been this season, I think Philadelphia will be just fine, and Jalen will.
Greg's pointing.
I'm just saying that's Patriots defense, the only good defense they played this year, and they didn't get 250 yards. Just saying.
All right. A great case for you to flip your pick.
Then
to
pick
the Washington Commanders.
Then pick Washington.
Not going to do it.
All right, let's look at some scores that we think will be high. The highest over-unders, according to FanDuel, got an absolute score fest in Buffalo between the Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. A couple of these other games, the Raiders and the Chargers, the nobody could stop anybody game, 49.5. But also Seahawks-Giants featured there with the third highest over-under projection of the week. It's a revenge game for Eugene Cyril Smith. Saquon might also play. Fireworks in this one, Greg?
Yes, I think both offenses will score. I'm not really that confident in the Seahawks pass defense, but I'm really not feeling the Giants pass defense, especially in a spot against a great quarterback like Geno Smith, who maybe he doesn't have revenge on his mind, but I do, because I remember when Geno Smith took over for Eli Manning back in 2017, and everyone got all upset at Ben McAdoo.
Not
and
me.
Geno comes out there and he plays pretty well. And ownership steps in the next week. They don't like all the feedback, and they put Eli Manning back in the lineup, and they waste another year and a half of their franchise, and Geno doesn't get another chance. And now look who's still starting in the NFL. They could have had their next quarterback. He was on the roster. Geno Smith for the Giants. And this is a great matchup to me. Against this Giants team starting 2 rookie cornerbacks.
Okay, that was a hot take from 2017. I like the throwback
I'm just saying,
there.
they made McAdoo take him out of the lineup, and so he did, and then they fired him a couple weeks later. Get McAdoo in this game, too, for revenge.
Okay, we'll call Ben McAdoo and see if he'll want to be there. But I'm looking at this one, and I'm looking at Kenneth Walker. Why? Because when you're watching him run and control the clock, it's actually a thing of beauty. It was really interesting rewatching this game last week against the Panthers. The Panthers made some mistakes when it came to on their offense, just so many penalties. But Walker really controlled with the time, with his yards before. He's very patient. His change of direction speed, you actually just saw it there against the Rams. That's what makes him so special. He can actually be really fast, like starting to the right and then ending up to the left, which is a really important characteristic for the way that they like to play this run offense. So I'm looking at that, and I'm saying 25-23, a nice solid win. I don't know if Saquon's playing. This one factors in that he is, but that he's not 100%.
That worries me a little, because the Seahawks were your Super Bowl team before the year, and you only a 2-point win.
Well, there was actually a voice in the industry.
A win's a win.
Yeah, I'll take it if Ben get it.
We love wins. A voice in the industry that I really trust told me that the Seahawks offense was rounding into their Super Bowl run shape. And that voice is Cynthia Freeland. And every single game this season, The New York Giants have allowed the opponent to score more than 30 points. I think it happens again because I think the Seahawks offense is rounding into shape. 33-25. Cynthia already mentioned Kenneth Walker getting better. I think the Seahawks defense is getting a little bit better as well, especially with the pressure that they can bring with the blitz. Daniel Jones and the Giants offense struggling right now when the opponent is bringing pressure. We saw early the Jonathan Gannon and the Arizona Cardinals bring all of that heat. They had a lead. They slowed it down a little bit. The Giants were able to come back. I don't think that happens in this one. They score more than 30 again, so that holds. Seahawks win. Meme us away, because we are believers in Geno and his revenge. And Ben McAdoo, enjoy
Enjoy the game, Ben. Enjoy.
Up next, we got a big one going down in H-Town. C.J. Stroud and the upstart Texans playing host to Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Who has the edge? Our picks coming up next.
With the second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
C.J. firing to the end zone and caught, touchdown! The first of C.J. Stroud's career. C.J. firing downfield to his right, and Tank has it at the 40, 10, 5, touchdown! The rookie scores.
3 games in, C.J. Stroud gives us a chance to win every week.
And it certainly did last week. C.J. Stroud and the Texans fresh off that 37-17 beatdown they put on the Jags in Duval. The Steelers have won their last 2 games, though, so who has the edge here, Greg?
Well, I think the pass rush of the Steelers will be too good. I have them winning 24-20. I wanted to talk Stroud because he's one of the biggest stories in the league, but you guys took him from me. So I'm going Jaylen Warren. Just to see if Patrick's head explodes. Patrick loves Najee Harris so much, he doesn't like to hear about Jaylen Warren. But 2 things can be true. Yeah. Both running backs can be fantastic. There's a stat called yards over replacement per route run that my old friend Aaron Schatz runs. And who's second in the league in it? Jaylen Warren.
Yeah,
Number one
on 3rd and 12, he'll get you 9.
I mean, give me a break. That was way more than 9. Only Bijan Robinson is doing better than Jaylen Warren here. He is one of the best receiving backs in the league. He was last year, too. He was.
There's 1 first down in that clip.
I mean, it's 2 years in a row he's done it. And for some reason, you're a hater.
I'm not a hater.
It's a fantasy thing, I get it.
It's support.
Okay, well, I have a 4-point win. I'm like, what? I have a 4-point win here, too, 22-18 in favor of the Steelers. But I want to talk about, this is a callback to our friend Andrew Hawkins. Hawk, we love you, but we got to bring up the not-so-tall receivers. That would be Tank Dell. Tank Dell has been a big reason why C.J. Stroud has been able to stay really efficient and deep and on short passes. And he's 5'8". That's what he's listed as in the program. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's not tall. So he fulfills that objective of getting in one not-so-tall receiver in our show. And also, the fact that their O-line has been so banged up, and again, Larry Tunsil not there again, Tank Dell has been really like this huge, massive highlight.
And he's played on the outside, too. You don't see the little guys usually on the outside. Hawk was on the inside taking those hits.
But listen, Hawk, inside, outside, we loved him at all alignments.
Everything works out. And I also have the Steelers in this one. I wanted to pick the Houston Texans. Got late news about Laramie Tunsil on Friday. I was thinking maybe he comes back. Didn't necessarily need him against the Jags. They do need him against this pass rush. The Steelers offense may be rounding into shape. And despite what Greg says, I do have belief in the running back that has the highest success rate, both running and passing, on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's actually Najee Harris.
Oh.
You too.
But what's C.J. Stroud going to need to do? He's going to need to complete short passes and get the ball out of his hands quickly, and that's something he was able to do to a high extent against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ball coming out quick. He also had a little more time against Jacksonville as well, but we've seen him get better week by week. What does he finally round into against a really good
Are you going to jinx him?
defense?
He's so good.
Are you going to jinx him?
Patrick flipped his pick before the show.
Are you going to jinx him?
Good. No.
Because he's the only guy who hasn't.
Okay, I'm not going to say it.
I didn't say it either.
We'll see if the magic happens here. If in case you missed it, Taylor Swift mania sweeping the NFL world last weekend. So FanDuel has a bunch of Swift-themed Chiefs bets for Sunday. Seeing red, platinum, the friend zone bet.
Oh no!
Which is like who's taking that? Seemingly Ranch, of course. They're going deep into Swift lore. That has been from the
These
past.
are going over my head.
Let's do some quick picks because Mahomes, Kelsey, maybe Taylor Swift going to MetLife for a Sunday nighter against the Jets. What do you see here, Cynthia?
That was a lot. We're getting too far. What I'm looking at in this matchup, I have the Chiefs with a nice, overwhelming win, but I still give a lot of respect to this Jets defense. And I think figuring out which of the different pass catchers is going to be really reliable. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a lot of different passes to the most different receivers. But when I'm looking at who's his reliable guy, I still go back to week 1. Let's not have any more drops. And by the way, this MVS touchdown would have been an awesome one if it had counted. But let's be honest, we've got to make sure there's no more drops.
Yeah, it's just tough to have this kind of game in primetime, so much attention on it, and you don't see the Jets scoring more than 19. Score Jets 19, Chiefs 89. Let's go.
It could happen. It could happen.
Very possible.
They keep scoring ever more. Cardinals, 49ers.
Okay.
Arizona coming off a huge upset last week against the Cowboys. Can they do it again, Greg?
No, I don't think they can. I think they could hang tight for a half. They've done that week after week. But the return of George Kittle to the true George Kittle that I've been enjoying watching since he came into the league, I thought he looked better just in terms of his movement. He's healthier this year. He's always playing through injuries the last few years, and we haven't really seen the explosive Kittle. If he is at his best, this offense is even better. I mean, how much better can you even get? Deebo Samuel isn't 100%, but Ayuk is off the injury report. Kittle making plays after the catch, especially when one of the wide receivers are banged up. I think this just adds another big dimension they didn't quite have last year.
All right, we'll see how the upstart Cardinals do. The Vikings and the Panthers, battle of winless teams. Bryce Young back for Carolina. And go ahead, give me that dog barking. I like the Panthers here. Playing at home, the return of Bryce mainly. It's a Giro Evro's defense that has me wanting to shout them out the way that they're playing. And they're going up against one of the hottest offenses ever to never win a game. And I think it stays that way. The Panthers sneak by at home. Also, Brian Flores might be in a tough position because of how much they love to blitz. Right now, the play is to not blitz Bryce because he's kind of struggling when the field is cloudy a little bit. That might clear things up. I think maybe it's the temptation a little too much to deal with. And the Panthers get their first win of the season. Still to come, Alvin Kamara's back. Is he going to jumpstart the Saints running game? We're previewing Bucks Saints right after this quick break. We're back on Game Day View, and Sunday Morning Football is back on NFL Network and bigger than ever, live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags take on Josh Allen and the Bills. Rise and shine and watch football all day on Sunday. Sunday, October 8th, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Music's got me fired up. This Sunday, the Jags play the first of 2 straight games in London. They're playing host to the Falcons in the early morning from Wembley, 9:30 a.m. Eastern for the kickoff. Cynthia, what happens here?
Well, both of these teams are good across the pond, but I have Jacksonville, which is like their second home, 23-21 in this matchup. We saw Calvin Ridley not be as effective in the past game as he was in the first game, but I think we kind of get back on track here. There's some pieces missing. We saw Jeff Okudah was on a snap count last week. They said they're going to play him a bit more. However, have you seen how precise the routes that Calvin Ridley runs are? And that is going to be massively important in this matchup. I do think the Falcons have put up a little bit more of a fight in this game than last week when the Lions smoked them. I'll say it then, but I think Calvin Ridley's
I'm interested to see how Ridley does because he struggled the last few weeks. Couple drops.
But watch.
Making the...
This is the Ridley back.
Okay.
You have to do it with a British accent, too. You'll have to speak.
A lot on his mind against his old team.
Revenge.
I'm taking the Jaguars as well, but for a different reason. I really have been impressed by Travis Etienne this year. In the past, I've kind of been a doubter, maybe an Etienne suppressive person. I don't know. This year, I watch him, and I see him running really hard, breaking tackles. There haven't been as many big plays. I think that's just circumstance because I actually see him being more consistent on a snap-to-snap basis, getting 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, making the right cut. And if you remember last year, he scored 2 touchdowns in London, went over 100 yards. Like, London is ETN town, and I think he gets it done. Against a Falcons defense that's better, but not enough to shut him down.
Yeah, I think this Falcons defense is so much better. One of the better Falcons defenses that we've seen in the last few years. But where are they weak? It is against the play-action pass. And you saw Sam Laporta against the Falcons. Well, now it's time for the sequel because this Falcons defense is going to have to deal with Evan Ingram. I think you're going to see where Evan Ingram dragging across the formation, coming back after they're chasing Travis Etienne one way. Huge game for Evan Ingram, back across the pond and across the formation. The Jags winning. Meme us away.
I know. This one
I know. This one feels a little.
We're not super comfy here. So that could be the meme. Is us
like
looking
our
uncomfortable?
Titans pick last week.
Much more comfortable with Cynthia doing math. Will Bijan Robinson have over or under 96 yards from scrimmage Sunday?
Well, Debbie Downer here.
Oop.
I have just short of that. Not because I don't think he's going to be really impactful or really important in this game. I think this is going to be a game where pace matters. We don't have exceptionally high scores on either side here, and I think that's because there will be more running. You said you like ETN. What does he do? He runs. Yeah, so more longer extended drives means less opportunity to just have these crazy, crazy numbers. But still, if you have Bijan Robinson in fantasy, you are absolutely playing him because I do think he gets into the end zone.
All right, folks, do you want more NFL action this offseason or this season? NFL Plus brings you live games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, game replays, and more. It's all in one place. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Terms and conditions apply. It's time for Pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. The Bucs and Saints both sitting at 2-1. Alvin Kamara is back from his suspension for New Orleans. What happens, Greg?
I think the Saints end up winning this one. I feel comfortable about it, too. This defense right now is playing fantastic, and I think the matchup when the Saints have the ball as well, the Bucs have not been getting much of a pass rush this season whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one, and Alvin Kamara, to me, is the difference. That means that the New Orleans Saints will take this one. I only have 23-18, so a 5-point win for me in this matchup. I'm looking at Alvin Kamara, and also, I just checked the injury report, double-checked the centers out again. That's a big problem. However, now you have a lot of different formations and multiple options. Even if whatever happens to the quarterback, you're going to have multiple options at that running back position. And we've seen, even though, listen, Todd Bowles, love him dearly, and he is a master at stopping the run, and he knows a lot about Alvin Kamara. But Miles Sanders really got in there and got a little bit of, not Miles Sanders, the Eagles last week, rather, got in there and really ran against him really well.
It's not so like the Todd Bowles defense.
Yeah, there were some large vacancies for DeAndre Swift to go through. I've got the Saints winning as well. It's a 4-point win, 24-20 on the basis of this defense. Look at how much better Cam Jordan looks when he's getting help around the Saints, getting so much pressure with just 4 guys. And considering that a lot of their edge rushers are all around the league now, the Vikings waiting to get Marcus Davenport back onto the field. But we've seen what this Saints defense can do. Of course, you've got another Marshawn Lattimore against Mike Evans game, maybe versus 0.
Ooh, last time one of them got kicked out and suspended.
It's been 2 consecutive times where there's been a fight, so we'll see.
I mean, I kind of love it.
That's like the real revenge game here. I mean, this is literally the only 2 players in the league that always get into fights. And we should mention, Derek Carr, questionable for this game, not necessarily expected. So that does mean the return of Jameis Winston to the starting
More
lineup.
revenge.
And, hey, people kind of use Jameis as a punchline because of how his career ended in Tampa. I just want to say, this guy started over 100 games in the NFL, racked up some big-time stats, and people think back to those Tampa teams, think it was all bad times. He was a productive player who had great receivers then, but I don't know, these receivers now might be even deeper in terms of the weapons that he has in New Orleans, and they're injured in the secondary in Tampa. No Jamal Dean.
Huge game.
Carlton Davis is questionable for this, so I think Jameis could get it going. Let's go, Jameis.
And DA and Pete Carmichael got a lot of heat for not getting Alvin Kamara the ball in the passing game enough last year. We'll see how they incorporate him this time around. Burrow and the Bengals clawing their way to their first win Monday night. Will they keep that momentum rolling into Nashville Sunday? We're talking Bengals Titans next.
Thought you didn't believe in momentum,
I believe in reading the words on the screen. YouTube TV is the new home of NFL Sunday Ticket. Being an NFL fan has never been easier. Watch every game, every Sunday, exclusively with NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit NFLSundayTicket.com.
Measuring the kick is Gay. Waiting on the long snap. There it is. Placement. Kick is on its way. It has the distance. It's up, and it is good! Ball game! I-N-D-Y!
Oh, my God, what a great win. What a great performance in crunch time, fourth quarter and overtime. What more could you ask for?
Love to win football games when your backup quarterback runs out of the back of the end zone for a safety. Matt Gay nailed a 53-yarder in overtime to give the Colts the win last Sunday. Indy's won 2 straight. The Rams have lost 2 in a row. Anthony Richardson back for the Colts. Cynthia, it could go either way.
Reggie Wayne used to work with us, and now he's like one of the receivers coaches for the Colts, and he's like, I keep receipts when you don't pick me. Okay, Reggie.
Nobody picked you last week.
You ready for the receipt? I'm picking the Rams. 23 to 22. Reggie, come at me, bro. You're good. It's fine. It's all good. Look, it's just math here. And when I'm looking at Aaron Donald, does he still play for the Rams? The answer? Yeah. And you know who knows that? Literally every other quarterback, and also all of the runners. So when I'm looking at Anthony Richardson's opportunity, it's just, this is like the guy who I actually don't know if we're going to see, like in my lifetime, a better defender, or one that I think is just like so much more. Change that interior pressure position in such a dramatic way. He gets double teamed all of the time, triple teamed, all of it. But he really makes a huge difference. And sorry, Reggie, it's going to be hard to throw to your guys this week when Aaron Donald's coming for their souls.
Their souls.
That's where he comes from.
He's Shang Tsung.
It's especially hard, though, when you're missing your starting center, who might be having to block Aaron Donald, and that's the Colts, who's also missing their left tackle. That's one reason I'm with you.
Okay, good. I'm like, fine. Okay, good.
Another 1-point win. We're really agreeing a lot this week, Cynthia. One of the reasons is, look, I love Anthony Richardson, but Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback in this game. And if you just look at the raw stats, like 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I'm looking at my boy Nick Shook's QB index, and Stafford's like in the middle, lower. Are people missing what I'm seeing? He is slinging the ball this year, and it hasn't totally shown up in the box score, but it has been a thing of beauty the way he is playing. I think he'll get just enough protection this week, and I like the matchup against these Colts cornerbacks. Juju Brents, rookie, played well in his first game a week ago. Undrafted rookie in his second year, Dallas Flowers on the other side. I think the Rams can take advantage of these matchups deep down the field, hit some big plays. And sometimes I just pick a game, and this isn't scientific. They don't have a model of it, but it's like,
hey,
don't these teams just
was that a shot at me?
I'm just saying, both these teams, don't they just deserve to be 2-2? It just sort of makes sense if they're both 2-2 instead of one being 1-3.
Okay.
So I think the world just comes together like that, and that's what happens.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic view of the standings. So Cynthia shouts out Aaron Donald, as she should. That's why I picked the Rams on Monday night. The issue was, as Greg pointed out, Matthew Stafford's playing great. They haven't been able to protect him. So these two have 1-point wins for the Rams. I've got the Indianapolis Colts winning. I got you, Reggie. Mainly on the basis that coming down the stretch, especially
it's all stray bonds today, by the way.
It is.
Against the Bengals, that they couldn't protect Joe Burrow. And we've seen this Indianapolis Colts defense actually get after folks. Gus Bradley's been doing this for a very long time, and this Colts defense can get pressure. They can get pressure with 4. I think that's an issue, and the fact, of course, like Aaron Donald is eternal. He's coming for souls of your feet, everything. But we have seen Puka Nacua kind of dealing with an injury, was out of the game in big stretches in that loss on Monday night. I'm just a little bit concerned. Speaking of Puka, let's do some math. He had 25 catches in his first 2 games, just 5 in week 3. The over-under 6.5 this week. What are you projecting, Cynthia?
I'm projecting 6, which is less than 6.5. Why? You nailed it. Number 1, there were large stretches of the game where he wasn't on the field and therefore unavailable to be the recipient of any target. And 2, defenses are now hip to Puka Nacua. When you see him getting that like treatment of your best corner, of your best defensive back, Patrick is now like losing his mind over here. But when you have that going on, you'll see a little bit more coverage on him. It's still a great game for him with 6 receptions.
Right.
It's just this is not slight. You're just not going to get 25 in 2 games. There's a reason that's a historic pace.
I mean, it's a historic number. Has a 3rd-round rookie ever had an over/under 6.5?
No, that is like the same thing like Devontae Adams gets.
Let's get to a little over/under as I was knocking everything over.
I know,
to
it
get
was
my
great.
Fingers
That was
out.
so funny.
A distracting
I wish that you had that.
Let's start with the Bengals and the Titans. The over/under is at 41. And I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one because the Tennessee Titans have not been able to stop anybody through the air. Burrow and the Bengals passing game got a little bit better. I've got the over, Greg.
I have the under. I feel much stronger on the under here, and I think it's way under, 17-16. I'm taking the Titans to win, by the way. It matters who wins these games, and I think I have a just Greg on this one because look, you need to play out of center, you need to be able to move. I don't think this can last for Joe Burrow. I just feel like this is an unsustainable way to run an offense.
Did you see how many deep passes were completed
Against
with the Browns
one of
against
the most
secondary?
under-talented defenses in the league. The Titans are different.
All right, let's get
What
to
are you talking about?
next matchup.
Cincinnati wins this one big.
in
Their
the-
secondary, whatever. Keep going.
In the AFC West, the Raiders and the Chargers, Jimmy G remains in the concussion protocol. Over under at 49.5, and I am taking the under on the basis that we've kind of seen some struggles for this Las Vegas offense. I think the Chargers will be just fine, but you got to add them together, Greg. I'm taking the under.
I'm going just under, but if Josh McDaniel doesn't start Aiden O'Connell over Brian Hoyer, we know where you are. We're coming for you. I mean, let's not be starting Brian Hoyer, please.
Start Brian Hoyer. I have 30-21. The Chargers win this one. I think that the Chargers, even without Eckler, they need to kind of get some things right. They got to keep, no weird calls this week, Brandon. Just let it go. Play your offense.
Okay, maybe a couple threats in that segment. The Broncos and the Bears, these two last week gave up 111 combined points. The over-under is 46. Yeah,
Yes.
because nobody can stop anybody in this game, Greg.
Yes, the tiny man with the foam finger is coming for you. I'm going over. I think the offenses are better than the defenses here.
I have under here. I have, 23-21. Denver wins this one.
And we're all taking the Broncos in this.
It's running. It's
All
running.
taking the
All
Broncos.
taking the Broncos.
I think we
Let's
got
ride.
spicy here. We got more spicy predictions for Week 4. Shockingly, one of us, Greg, wants to talk more Patriots.
Well,
What?
We're watching Game Day View presented by Mercedes.
one of the games of the week. It's totally me.
One of the games. Right. There's 16 games. It's one of them.
It's like number 2.
It's definitely one of them. Time for Write This Down. Some predictions for Week 4. Greg, what should the people note?
They should know, once again, if they haven't watched the whole show, that the Patriots are keeping this game within 7 points. Sometimes you have a feeling that's so strong you have to return to it, and I want to make everyone smile. I want the Patriots to make my mom, Debbie Rosenthal, a huge Patriots fan, smile, and I think they will. Look, even if they do lose this game, and I think the Patriots will win outright, I think this defense is getting better and better and more multiple, and the offensive line is healthier and has shown steady progress. They're not going to lose by 7. This game is destined to come down to the last 30 seconds and be a defensive battle. 7 points is way too many.
Okay, well, Cynthia is nobody's, I don't squelch on a bet. So here, this is from not this week, because obviously the Lions won this week, but this is Gordy's. He let me borrow it.
Bold to do this live on air and not put it.
Roar!
There it is. Yeah, I got to get the ears right. The
Good?
roar is
We good here?
It's-
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Cute,
You have paid up. Thank you.
cute to
Thank
be, frightening.
Yes. But Dalton Kincaid is going to have over 26 receiving yards, because if you look at where this defense is susceptible, in 12 personnel, which is heavy personnel, 2 tight end sets, the tight end being target, well, that is a recipe to target the best part of the weakness of the Dolphins defense by the Bills. So Dalton Kincaid,
Just nailing that.
Right.
Wearing a dog lion costume.
Right, there's
Perfect.
something ridiculous about Dalton Kincaid over 26 yards with that on.
The idea that James Cook will have fewer than 57.5 rushing yards against the Dolphins is preposterous to me.
Yes.
James Cook is one of the better running backs in the league in between the 20s. We just got to get the Buffalo Bills to give him the ball more in the red zone, but I think 57.5 is not enough. James Cook gets you more than that, gets the Bills more than that, but I do think that the Dolphins ultimately win this game. Thanks for watching us here on Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The
notice
roar
the nails.
is
Notice
restored.
my nails. Come on, I went
I'm
all
Patrick
out.
Claybon for Cynthia Freeland and Greg Rosenthal. We'll see you next week. Get the crown off of Greg.